I don't have any notes for this video, so I'm just kind of like a hot goddamn mess. So this is not a tutorial video. This is just me showing my stuff. So I am very sorry if you expect to do tutorial video because, no. I just wanted to explain like what I did and where I fucked up, and hopefully that'll help any budding cosplayers in the future. So I'm sorry if you expected a tutorial video because this ain't the one. I am coming to you today in my full lazy goth regalia. I'm not wearing any makeup. I'm not doing anything fancy with my hair. I just came back from the doctor. Just got some blood work done and my shots. Everything is good. I am healthy. So I just wanted to come in and make a video. I am taking a break for a little bit from reading bad fan fiction because I can only take so much, I can only take so much of that at a time. So I figured, hey, I'm halfway through the book, so I might as well do something else. And today I am going to do a video about some cosplay stuff because it is almost con season. It is almost time for Pax East and it is almost time for Anime Boston. And these are the two big conventions that I usually go to every year. I typically go to New York Comic Con, but I didn't go last year because of DragCon. But Anime Boston and Pax East are the two big conventions that I go to and I try to go all out for as far as my costumes go. And I am currently working on a costume. I'm working on two costumes rather. I'm working on Wispess from The Witcher 3, which has been interesting because I have been just taking a bunch of ears, like squishy ears, and coloring them to make them look bloody to put on a necklace. And that's been interesting. And I'm also doing Monami from Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair. I'm doing her in like her human form. And I was I'm getting ready to style the wig today. And I figured, you know what? I should make a video about my first big armor build and what I did right and what I did wrong and where I improved. So that is what I'm going to do today. I'm not going to show the costumes in progress right now because I kind of want them to be a surprise. And the wig for Monami right now, I'm looking at it, it's like right above the camera. It's a little shabby looking, a little worse for wear. So also I got new glasses. And they aren't sliding down my face as much, but I feel myself, I'm like looking at myself, I'm like adjusting them because it's a habit. Anyway, so the first costume that I did that was a very, very big armor build was the imp version, like the imp skin for Mercy from Overwatch. And I did it for New York Comic Con, I think 2 years ago. And it was an endeavor to say the least. I'm going to be throwing up a picture of it right here. And it was an okay costume. Prior to making this costume, I had done no sewing. I had done no work with foam aside from like some ears for Sylveon. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to like go big. I'm going to go big or go home. And so Mercy's outfit for that skin is basically like, she has horns, she has her staff, she has her wings, she has like little things on her wrists, she has hip armor, and then she has like armor in the front. And this was tricky for me because I didn't know how to like the big thing for me was making the wings, making the staff, and making the armor. So the dress was like relatively easy. It was like white on the sides and black in the middle, like a color blocked kind of thing. And originally what I wanted to do for the front pointy armor piece is I wanted to make it out of fabric and then sew it on, but I'm an idiot and I made the dress stretchy and I made the armor bit out of woven fabric instead of knit fabric, and it didn't work. So what I did is I took like some thin EVA foam and I made this. So as you can see, I don't have the original dress anymore because I cut it up and used it for something else. But what I did was also, really quick side note, my boyfriend Doug is like a cosplay, he's so freaking good at like every single thing that he does cosplay wise because he is a crafter. And I'm going to link his Instagram and everything in the description below. So go and commission him because he's wonderful. And I'm not saying that because I'm biased because, you know, whatever. But anyway, so he helped me install these little snaps as you can see. And as you can see, the foam is pretty thin. I don't remember the thickness of it. It was this, and it was attached to the point of the dress in the front with snaps. And one mistake I made is I didn't put a snap in the middle here. So this was sort of just like flopping around, and it wasn't a good life choice. But yeah, this is just EVA foam that is primed and painted with acrylic paint. I am pretty happy with the little fade that I did right here. Yes, so moving on. So this was my second very, very big mistake with making this costume for Mercy. Her hip guards go here on her hip like this. I don't know if you can see it, but they sit like this. And I thought it would be a good idea to use Velcro, not just any kind of Velcro, but fucking stick-on Velcro. So what I did was I took Velcro and I stuck it to the side of the dress, which was knit fabric, and I put this honkin' fucking thick, THIQQ with spaces in between, thick EVA foam, and stuck it to my dress, and it was a nightmare. It basically, this bit right here, it was stuck on with Velcro, so it would stretch, and the dress would stretch with it, so it just brought everything out, and it was not a good look. I was happy with the construction of these pieces. Like, I like the way that these look. I especially like this bit, like the little top bit, but it just wasn't a good choice for the kind of fabric and the mobility for my outfit, especially when you're in like a really big crowded center like the Javits Center. It wasn't a good choice. And also not a good choice were the wings. Oh my god, the wings. Hang on. So the wings that I made are based off of a pattern by a cosplayer named Stella Chuu, who did a very wonderful Imp Mercy cosplay. I'll put a link to everything in the description below. These are the wings that I made. They are laser cut, or not laser cut, they are cut acrylic, mistake number one, and PVC piping. There's like a connector. You can't really see it, hold on. Okay, so there's like a little connector right here, and it goes up. Basically what this is there's like a connector right here, and then the pipe that goes up, and there's like another connector in here. It's really hard to explain. I feel like the pattern will do it a lot more justice, but these were so heavy because I attached it to a little harness made from, I think it was another thing of PVC. So basically what Doug helped me do was he helped me drill a thing of PVC, and we made like a little U-bend pipe thing. So these things would like just like stick hard. It really is. I'm really stupid and I can't explain things very well. But these wings are huge and they look great. Like, I really like the way these turned out. And oh, you can see my little luggage tag, but I like the way these turned out. Like, they look really cool. Like, they're very, you know, in theory, I have another pair of wings made off of this pattern that I'm going to show you in a minute, but they kind of go on like a backpack. And they like, again, in theory, this costume worked out great, but the thing was that they were so heavy, they like slouched back. And they're adjustable, but I couldn't adjust the straps on my little back piece very well. So they just kept, they were like pulling everything back, and they're not sharp, but if you bumped into them, they were not having a good time. And what I did when I got to the Javits Center for New York Comic Con one year is I literally went up the escalator, and I'm like, I can't move around in these hallways. And what I did, I just stood there, like near like the bathrooms, and I just stood there and just waited. And I stood there for about an hour and a half, and I'm like, I can't wear this anymore. And I had to go back to my hotel and change. And I was so sad because it had taken me months to put this freaking costume together, and it just wasn't going right. So anyway, but I did make, another thing I was really proud of is the horns. I love these horns. I am so freaking proud of these. These are so great. And they're painted yellow because I did the devil skin for Mercy later. But what it is, it's just, like, I just templated these out with a little help from Doug, of course. But basically, it's EVA foam. The thickness is the THIQQ thickness. Hold on. It's just like the standard like floor mats, like the anti-fatigue mats you could buy at like Home Depot or Harbor Freight. But what it was is I have like a piece of armature wire inside of it so that they're bendable. And I cut out these two bottom pieces like this. I cut out these two bottom pieces and took a Dremel and made the edges smooth, because you can't glue, like, hold on, let me see if I can find a piece that's just laying around. So you can't glue the texture. You can't glue this. This won't adhere to anything. So you have to like sand it or cut it off with a really sharp knife. So like if you're cutting it and your knife is sharp enough, then you can glue the edges, but I just prefer to use a Dremel because it gives me a little more control, and my knives are never sharp for very long. There's a really great tutorial by Doran on how to make foam weapons, and I'll link that down below because Doran is wonderful. So these horns are great, and I cut out two pieces like this, and I glued them together like that. And then I use thinner foam up at the top, so it's a little floppy, but I use thinner foam up at the top and glued it together. And I put the armature, I glued the armature wire in there so it had a bit more form, and it could technically sit on my head by the grace of all the gods above and below alone, but I decided to put some barrettes, like I messily glued some barrettes on there so they could just like stick on my head. But right now, I think what I want to do is I want to get like those little like combs that you can just like, you know, use to like pull your hair back and just stick them in there, because that would work so much better, because my hair is very coarse and very curly, and I feel like just with those little combs it would just sit so much better. I love these horns, and they're so light. Like I'm so proud of these. Another aspect of this costume that I am very proud of, I repurposed it for the Devil Mercy outfit, is the staff. And originally what I wanted to do was I wanted to get a staff, or I wanted to make a staff with a motor. That moved, but no. But this is the staff. It's kind of janky looking, but I'm very proud of it. I templated it all on my own. I cut it out. I assembled it all on my own. I am so fucking proud of this staff. So, like I said, it's very janky, but this, oh no, it's coming apart. No, it's broken. No. So what I used to make the staff is, again, EVA foam. I use a piece of PVC piping. It's also detachable. So the top part and the bottom part come off for travel, which is very nice, because I would not want to carry this big honking thing around, because this thing is my height. I am 5'10", and this thing is my height. So it's pretty big and pretty cumbersome, but it's really great if, you know, when you just detach this, because it's just like, oh, cool. Stick it on and you're ready to go. Or not. You can take it off and you can travel with it. Yay! The top part of the staff is EVA foam again. And this is the thick EVA foam. And it's painted on the inside. I'm just going to rotate it a little bit. Looking in the monitor again, I'm sorry. And this is thin EVA foam, and then it's glued up at the top like this. This is two different pieces, because in the like in the costume itself, the little bits, they kind of stick out a little bit. Like these are a bit more flush, like with the center, and these stick out a bit more. And so they are glued together, and then I put I wrapped a piece of foam around the top and just glued it in place that way, and that way it stuck out a bit more. And these are thinner pieces of foam. They're kind of bent out of shape. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It was pretty simple, and I really enjoyed templating this part. So this is this is a thin piece of foam that's kind of bent over the top here. And these little bits are Instamorph, which is a wonderful, wonderful material. It's basically little like plastic beads that you heat up in very, very hot water, and they become clear. And when you see them become clear, you can morph them, hence Instamorph. And you can make so many really cool things with this. Like I made like these little bits. I made little armor things for the Devil Mercy costume. You can make, a lot of people use them for teeth. Like if you want to make like fake teeth, you can make that. I made a little pair of antlers out of it. It's great. It's a really good material. Like if you want something really good and affordable and it's really durable. I really, like, 10 out of 10 would recommend Instamorph. It's wonderful. But so yeah, I just made these little bits out of Instamorph, and really quick, these little bumps on the Instamorph, that is because I didn't heat it properly, and it's supposed to be smooth like this. This is not what you're aiming for. This is a mistake that I made because I'm an idiot, and this is what you're aiming for, like the smooth, nice surface. So what I did was I cut out a piece of foam that was like thinner, and I draped it over the back. And then I took 2 more pieces of the thick foam like that, and I made a little, you know, buffer, so to speak. And I just sort of puzzle pieced them together. Just show you, like. Also, sorry if you hear any creaking in the background, it's my fucking pipes. But yeah, and then this was originally black and white and purple, but again, I repurposed it for the devil skin. And then there's the bottom, which is just 2 more pieces of foam and obvious hot glue and these 2 little flippers down at the bottom. So I really like this staff. I am very proud of it, and I was very happy that I just was able to template it on my own, and I didn't need that much help. So moving on to the Devil Mercy costume. Insert picture here. As you can see, this one is a bit more, it's easy. It was a lot easier for me because, one, I kind of knew what to do and what not to do, and the process went a lot quicker, except for cutting out the pieces of the fucking wings because, oh my god, hold on. So these little wings that I'm about to show you, these are all the pieces that I cut out out of the foam. Oh wait, and there's more. Yeah. So, I don't know what this bit was for. Oh, I know what that's for. So yeah, that was a lot of cutting. Like, a part of me never wants to cut out foam again, but then I'm just like, no, this is fun. I can make shit. So these are the updated wings for Mercy. And they are so much better than the acrylic wings, but they are at least a quarter of the size. And they're really great because I just made the back plate. Instead of making it out of PVC, I made it out of foam. I am a foam slut. And then I made the little design. It's a little crooked and it's kind of falling apart, but I made the design on the back, and the wings, instead of being glued to PVC piping, they're glued to very thick armature wire. Instead of using acrylic, I just used very thin foam for the wings, and I painted them. And it's very comfortable. I'm gonna put it on right now. Hold, please. So yeah, this is what they look like on. Just very light. They sit very high up on my back. And yeah. So like, compare that with that. Big fucking difference. For the armor for Mercy, I'm gonna take these off. I forgot I was wearing them because they're so comfy. And it's the wings aren't as like big and like bombastic as like Mercy's wings are in the game, but I want to be comfy. Like, if I'm making a big fucking armor build, I want it to look good, but I also want to be comfortable, and I want it to be, I want to be able to like move around in it. And another big thing with my costumes is like, how easy would it be for me to take it off to go to the bathroom? Because that's an important thing. Because this, I will admit, even though this costume was a lot more streamlined than the other one, it's still really annoying to take off the armor bits to go pee, and to like have someone, like a designated armor wrangler or whatever, to hold them for you. But rambling again. So this time what I did was I just bought a dress off of Amazon. Like, I originally made one, but the fabric was too slippery. So I just ordered a dress off of Amazon, and I cut it so there's like a little point in the front like that. And I had added snaps to here, so it's like, so like the hip. And then I added snaps to the front. You can't really see it because it's red, but, and then I added another snap to the hip. I made the armor for the hips out of thin foam, the thin EVA foam. And I think like the second thinnest one you can get. And they've been sitting kind of in storage for a little bit, so they're a bit wonky. But what I did was I just took these and I just snapped it on. So I really feel like I should be putting this on, but the reference picture I put on just explains everything. Also, the snaps are color-coded because I knew that I am kind of an idiot and I would just like put the snaps and the things on the wrong, I would put the bits for armor like on the wrong part of the dress and it wouldn't look good. So I color-coded the snaps. So red goes to red and yellow goes to yellow, which is, I guess, smart on my end. But basically the hip bits clip on, or they snap onto the hip. And there are two little bits in the back, like these guys. Oh my God, I'm so stupid. Like these guys right here. And they are attached to the booty, kind of like butt armor. And they kind of cover like a little tail that I made, which I'm also very proud of. And this is the front piece, which I, again, stupidly didn't put a snap on the front, but it looked weird. Like it didn't look right. Like no matter what I do, it just doesn't look right. So I did this. So snaps again on the foam to attach to the front of the dress. So a very big improvement from the really thick hip armor. And they didn't, like in Mercy's costume, like they kind of like flare at the waist, and these didn't flare that much, but it made moving around a lot freaking easier. So I am very happy with that. And in the costume again, she has a little shirt, like a little, not like a bolero, but it's a shirt of some sort. And I ordered a black turtleneck off of Amazon, and I made this little pendant and made these little things out of Instamorph and painted them and glued them to the fabric. So I glued Instamorph to foam and glued that to the fabric. So it's like just on there. And she normally has like patches, but I just drew her little insignia on here with silver paint pen. And this goes over the dress. So it's this little top and then the dress under it. And that was easy, you know, just buy, like I know a lot of people do this, or they kind of like shame people who do like closet cosplay or who buy things off of Amazon or who buy things like pre-made and like doctor them. And I'm like, dude, that's smart. Like, come on. Like, why would you shame somebody for doing that? Like, it's like, oh, not all of us are like Yaya Han. Not all of us are Ivy Doom Kitty. Like, we aren't all like master fucking seamstresses and like foam smiths. Like some of us, like the noobs, like we all have to fucking start somewhere. Okay. So don't shame people for having like not good looking cosplays, because it's not nice. And I always am scared to go places. Like I'm always afraid to go to conventions because I feel like people are going to critique the fuck out of my costume, and they never do. But I always feel like there are people just like looking at me just being like, eh. But at this point, like I give no fucks. So before I show the tail, I forgot one little bit. Hold on. Oh, I'm old. So Mercy also has these little cuffs on her wrist. Again, made out of foam and painted, and they're just safety pinned in the back. And what I did was I cut out one piece like this, and then I cut out a second piece. Yeah, but I glued the two of them together, just really thin foam. The cool thing about really thin foam is that you don't have to worry about dremeling the back because it's just thin and it doesn't have any texture on either side. So you can just glue it with either barge cement or hot glue. I prefer hot glue because it's more convenient, but for more heavy duty shit, I prefer the barge cement because when that stuff sticks to something, it ain't going nowhere. So, and this is my little tail that I made. It is 2 bits of foam glued together for a little bit of extra body. And I used, this was made very hastily, I think a couple days before the con, and you can tell because it is very obviously hot glued, like very obviously hot glued, like embarrassingly so. But and then they're just like little diamonds of foam just cut out and glued onto it. And yeah, I just made like just cut out 2 pieces of fabric, just put them on over, and it attaches around my waist like a belt, and it goes under the dress, so it kind of like just peeks out the back. But yeah, that's the tail. Originally, when I did the Imp Mercy, I wanted to do like a big tail, but I made a tail that looked like a fucking dinosaur, and I'm like, no, it ain't happening. That I am very happy with, and I really want to wear it again at some point. I might wear it for PAX, I'm not entirely sure. I think for PAX East this year, I'm doing Wispess, and I might be doing Miyu Iruma from Danganronpa V3, which I am. I'm so excited for that costume. I bought a costume from New Sky Cosplay. Not only did it come insanely fast, like it came in under a month, and I was shocked. Like I gave myself so much extra time because I thought it was going to take forever. It came in under a month and it fit. I'm what a lot of people consider plus size, and it's very hard to find pre-made costumes that look good and fit. And this one, I'm not a fan of polyester, but I'll take what I can get. This costume not only fits, but it looks really good. Like, I have some adjustments I have to make to it. Like the little harnesses that she wears, I have to adjust those somehow because they're very loose. But it's just a really nice feeling to get something quickly and to have it fit. For Monami, I haven't really done a lot of construction for her. Like, I'm working mostly on the wig, and I'm reaching over to get, because it's all like sitting here next to me. I am doing like two-toned socks. I'm doing a pink and white sock, like white on the right, pink on the left, just knee highs. I have this little white corset that I'm gonna be wearing, and I am wearing, oh my goodness, where is it? There it is. I ordered 2 little crop tops from Amazon, and I sewed them together to make this little two-tone little number, which I'm very proud of because it fits and it looks lovely. And I'm wearing it with a corset, so I am comfortable with wearing a crop top. And then I am wearing these little like bloomers, like these little things that you wear like under your skirt, like shorts. I'm wearing these little like can-can dancer bloomers. And my little piece de resistance, so to speak, is this fucking giant hoodie that I sewed. And I am so happy with this because I just took it and I templated it off of a hoodie that I already have that I wear all the time. That's like really big and baggy and comfortable. And let me just put it on right now, see if you can see it. Yeah. I'm so happy with this hoodie. It's so big. And it's made out of fleece, and it's so comfy, and the arms are big, and I intentionally made it big so I could wear like form-fitting stuff underneath it and have it be like a nice like contrast and like silhouettes and everything. And I like that it has a giant hood because if my wig starts to look a little too ratty like throughout the day, I can just, you know, flip it up and wear it like that. So that is my Monami outfit for Anime Boston. Me and my friend Jamie are gonna be walking around one day dressed up. I'm gonna be Monami, she's gonna be Monokuma. It's gonna be wonderful. And I'm very excited, and I'm very shocked that the costume part, like the clothing part of it, is done. And as soon as I finish this video, I'm going to go and put on some anime and curl the fuck out of this janky ass looking wig. It's gonna be an adventure. What I did for the wig is I got it and it wasn't wefted very well, and I always have this problem with wigs because I have a lot of hair and it's very hard for me to put it under wig caps. Like what I do is I braid it and I like pin it to the top of my head and I put on sometimes 2 wig caps, and I still, it just like the wig cap is peeking through. It's not a good look. So what I did is I attempted for the very first time to make, you know, to add wefts. And so I ordered wefts from Arda. You're supposed to sew them, but I hot glued them. And I also got some silicone spray just from like a hardware store, and I sprayed it onto the wig and combed it through because silicone spray acts as a lubricant and it makes detangling wigs a lot easier. And I am very happy with that. Once it gets curled, I'll probably post pictures of it, but what else? Oh yeah, so for Wispess, I made this mask because she wears like a mask over her face and it's like woven. So it looks really weird without my little cowl. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put mesh, like black mesh underneath this and have the cowl be over it. And I also started making her necklace of ears. She has a lot of ears, like a lot of sacrifices, but I'm making 2. Instead of making 1 big necklace, I'm making 2. And I ordered ears from like, they're like little, like, they're like stress relief ears. Like they're foam. Like it's so weird. And I need to make them a bit more gross looking, but what I used is Copic refill ink, which is money down the fucking drain. Copic markers, Prismacolor markers, yeah, and it's all on just yarn. So have her little her little sacrifices here. I'm gonna make another one and have it draped a little bit higher, so it's like resting higher up, like on my shoulders. And I have a dress, or I have like a skirt kind of ready for her, but I need to make an underskirt. I need to get my makeup ready. I need to get like some good body paint. I need to make her arm wraps, and I need to get a bag or make a bag and make it all bloody and get like a little baby hand to like plop out of it. So yeah, that is my little Mercy cosplay overview. A little sneak peek of the costumes I am wearing for Anime Boston and Pax East. And I am really looking forward to, I've been looking at this wig, like the whole time I've been doing this. I'm looking at the wig, I'm like, oh bish, I'm gonna curl it. I'm gonna curl it and it's gonna look great. I am really happy with adding the wefts to it. It made a world of difference, and I am very excited to style it, and hopefully it'll look good. And if it doesn't, then I will comb it out and start again, because that's how I do. All right, so that concludes this video for cosplay. I love and appreciate every single one of you who take time out of your day to watch these videos. I hope you are having a wonderful day. I hope you are having a wonderful week, weekend, whatever point of the week you're watching this video at, and I will see you all in the next one. Love you, bye!